What's going on, 5-9 gamers? JoeWags here, bringing you another Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel video here over on 5-9 Gaming. Please check out 5-9 Gaming for all your anime, news, manga, entertainment, gaming news needs. We got it all here on 5-9 Gaming, so feel free to like and subscribe. Check out all of our content here, especially for Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel and a lot of other things, right? So today we are going to talk about the Blackwing deck, and the Blackwing deck is a deck I'm fairly familiar with from back in the day, probably about 10, 11, 12 years ago. Blackwings used to be like my main deck. They were actually top of the meta for a long time, and I really like the Blackwing archetype. I like the way that they spam the field and get a lot of big, powerful synchros out, right? So I thought, why not try to put together a good Blackwing deck for 2022? Try them out in Master Duel and see how they're doing. So did some research, did some, kind of playing around with some different deck ideas, and I've come up with this deck that I feel runs fairly consistently. I think can win in Platinum tier. So if you're a big fan of Blackwings, please stick around and check out this video. I think you're going to be pleasantly surprised with how good Blackwings can be in 2022, right? So I'm going to go ahead and start with the deck profile. After the profile, we will go into some gameplay replays and kind of show off some of the combos I talk about here. So let's start with the Blackwing lineup. So we're going to start with 2 copies of Blackwing Arkhice the Squall. Basically, for those of you unfamiliar with Blackwings, a lot of the monsters can special summon themselves out, so you can spam a ton of summons, and then you use them to go into powerful synchro. And updated in 2022, we're actually going to do quite a few Xyz plays and some Link plays as well. So we use a lot of extra deck summoning in this deck. So what Arkhice does, he's just a level 1 tuner, and once per turn, as long as you control another Blackwing monster, you can just special summon it. So we have him here for a couple of reasons. One is because he's a free special summon target. We can use him to upgrade a synchro into a stronger one with his level 1. He has a very low attack stat, which is very significant because as you'll know later on, or we'll talk about later on, we use Black Whirlwind. So any Blackwing player knows that Black Whirlwind's an important card. Well, this gives us basically a targetable card for almost any summon off of Black Whirlwind. So Arkhice is a very good card for the deck. So we're going to run 2 of those. We're also going to run 2 copies of Blackwing Harmat the Dust. This is a 2-star Blackwing that also can special itself out if you control another Blackwing. The thing that's cool about this monster is when it is summoned, you can target another Blackwing on the field and add their level to his level. So for example, when you summon it, it starts off as level 2. You could target a level 4 and then increase this monster's level to 6. This allows you to go into some very high level synchros very easily, and that's mainly what we use him for. Next, we're going to run 3 Gale the Whirlwind. We all know how powerful Gale is. Gale is a monster that has consistently, like back when Blackwings were top tier, Gale was consistently like limited to 1. Like it was such a powerful card, and it still is. Once again, like the other monsters we talked about, Gale can special itself out if you control another Blackwing, and it's not limited to once per turn. Arkhice is just once per turn, but Gale, if you have 3 Gales in hand, you can special all of them. Gale has a very powerful effect where he can target another monster on the field and decrease its attack and defense by half, and it's a permanent decrease. So you just lower them down and you can make them very easy to beat over, right? And then obviously being a level 3 tuner, this is going to allow for some synchro plays. So Gale's very important in the deck. We have 1 copy of Gladius the Midnight Sun. This is one where like I think some people would run him, some wouldn't. Gladius isn't like essential to the deck, but he's a nice option as another unit we could special summon, something with a different star rating that can help us get into different synchros if we want to. So I just kind of tech one of these, and he works out all right. So basically, if you control exactly 1 Blackwing monster, you can special summon it, and then it's a level 3 monster. And then once per turn, it cannot be destroyed by battle. So in case you're in a tight situation where maybe you get a really brick draw, it's something where you could put it out, set it, or summon it. It could survive a turn and then still be there for the next turn. So it's a decent option, right? But I would say if you're someone that's looking for a monster card slot, that's one that you could maybe take out if you didn't like them. We're going to run 3 Bora the Spears. Bora is very powerful because, once again, he has unlimited ability to special summon as long as you control another Blackwing. So if you have 3 Boras in hand and 1 Blackwing, you can special all 3, which obviously makes for, and you'll notice there's a lot of level 4 monsters, so we're going to be doing a lot of like rank 4 Xyz plays in here, right? Bora also does piercing. Back in old school Yu-Gi-Oh, back when it was good, that actually was quite relevant. You could combo it with Sirocco and do some insane damage to a defense position monster. But in today's game, we just like him because he's a level 4, and he can be special summoned, and that's all we really need here. We're going to run 3 copies of Arkhice, the Crack of Dawn. Arkhice is very, very good. The only issue with Chris, so Chris is a 1900 and once per turn cannot be destroyed by spell or trap effects. The only limitation that Chris has is you can only special Chris once per turn that way. So Bora is actually a little bit better because Bora you can special like as many copies as you have. Chris has a better attack and a better effect, but you can only special one per turn. But Chris is very good, so definitely want to run that at 3. Then we're going to run basically a little package of probably like the most important part of this kit. For New Age Blackwings, this is probably the most important part. So we're going to run 2 copies of Blackwing Oster the South Wind, and then they combo really well with the next monster I'm about to talk about. So Oster is a level 4 monster that you cannot special summon it, so it's very unlike other Blackwings. It's kind of like Blizzard. Blizzard was the same way. Blizzard can't be specialed. But Oster, basically you normal summon it. You can special summon one of your banished level 4 lore Blackwings, which is good because that combos well with a couple of cards in our deck where we very easily can have a like level 4 lore Blackwing option there just to get a free body on field. So you can kind of think of this, it's basically Blizzard, but for banished monsters instead of graveyard, right? The other thing this card can do as a little bonus is if it's in the graveyard, you can banish it, and you can either put a black feather counter on a Blackwing Dragon. We're never going to use that effect because we're not running Blackwing Dragon. But the second effect, you can put a wedge counter on each face-up monster your opponent controls that doesn't have one. That's very significant because Blackwing Armor Master and Full Armor Master have powerful effects that have to do with wedge counters. So Oster in the graveyard can really help that. And with the main combo we're doing, we can get a turn 1 Full Armor Master, and then we can banish the Oster to put wedge counters out and just go crazy. So Oster is fantastic. Like if you wanted to run Oster at 3, I wouldn't blame you. Like if you don't like Gladius and you'd rather just play 3 Oster, you totally could go for it. I just kind of went in favor of having more special summon plays, and I've never had a match where I've had to go into Oster more than once. Like you typically get Oster once and you're good, and Oster is searchable. Like all these Blackwings are searchable, so 3 might be a little bit overkill, but you could try 3 Oster if you want to. And then the final Blackwing we're going to talk about is probably the MVP of this engine, is Simoon the Poison Wind. And Simoon is crazy because Simoon is a level 6 monster. Basically, you want to open with Simoon, and we basically build our deck in a way to give us the highest chance to open with Simoon as possible. The other thing you'll see is if you don't start with Simoon, like the deck still can do a lot of crazy things. So you definitely don't have to open with Simoon, but if you do, you're going to be cooking. Most matches, if I open with Simoon and they don't have any negates on board, like I just go crazy. So Simoon, basically, if you have no monsters on the field, you can banish another Blackwing monster from your hand, and then you get to just search a Black Whirlwind and put it on the field, and then you can immediately normal summon Simoon without tributing. Now this is quite significant because this normal summon does not count as your normal summon for the turn, and you're guaranteed to have a Black Whirlwind on field, which is one of the most powerful cards in the deck. We'll talk about it more in the spell lineup, but Black Whirlwind, like like Gale, is another one that was consistently like limited to 1 because it is just way too powerful, way too good. The fact that you can run 3 is actually what makes this deck competitive, I would say, in the meta, right? So what happens, you get the Black Whirlwind out, you immediately normal it. Now what happens is if that Black Whirlwind is still out at the end of the turn, you have to send it to the graveyard, I believe. Let me double check here. And you take 1,000 damage, right? Yeah, you send it to the graveyard and take 1,000 damage. Well, that combos well with another Blackwing I haven't talked about yet. I'll talk about that in a minute. But even if you're just getting that Black Whirlwind for the 1 turn, that's fine because you're going to get 2 summons off of it. So the main combo is you summon Simoon. You have the Whirlwind out with his effect. You're going to grab Oster with that. And then Simoon will have banished a Blackwing using his effect, right? So Simoon banishes, let's say you have a Bora in hand, right? Simoon banishes Bora. You put Black Whirlwind out, Simoon gets normal summon. You grab Oster, you still have your normal summon. So then you normal summon Oster, and then Oster's going to summon your Bora out to have another body. And then Oster, you're going to search out and get Harmattan. And then what happens is Harmattan can be special. You can copy the level of Oster to make it, not copy, but you add Oster's level to it to make Harmattan a 6-star. Oster is a 4-star tuner, so you can synchro then Harmattan with Oster to make a 10-star full armor master. And then you still have Simoon and Bora or whatever you summon on board. Not to mention if you have other Blackwings that can be special, then you just load up the field, but you have that full armor master there. So yeah, it's a very, very cool combo, very much like that. So the other Blackwing that we need to grab here, it's just a one of. Let me find it really quick here. There it is. So Blackwing Zepharos. So Zepharos is basically always been a staple in a lot of like decks, like not even just BlackWings, because Zepharos is so good. The main thing with Zepharos is that if it's in the graveyard, you can return a face-up card to your hand, pay 400 life, and then summon it to the field. This is a once per duel effect, which is why you only run one Zepharos. So Zepharos is a very common target for summoning from the deck with some of our Xyz plays that we're going to talk about later on. But basically the combo is you get Zepharos involved, you basically synchro it or Xyz it into something, it hits the graveyard. Then let's say you have that black Whirlwind on the field that Simoon brought out, you return it to your hand, then you have that Whirlwind in hand and it no longer will deal 1,000 damage to you, and then you get to keep that Whirlwind if you return it to the hand with Zepharos, right? Which is really good. The other thing that combos well with Zepharos is, let's say you have Bora or Gale on the field, you return those to the hand, summon Zepharos, and then they're free specials anyways, you just special them back out. So you don't really lose any field advantage. So Zepharos is very powerful because he extends plays and helps you get extra bodies out. Okay, so that should be it for the main Blackwing lineup. So now we are going to combo it with a mini Raid Raptor and Phantom Knights engine. So for the couple of Phantom Knights cards we're going to play one copy of Phantom Knights Ancient Cloak. Basically, the two Phantom Knight cards, you just want to get them engrave and use them for the graveyard effect. So basically, you can banish it from your graveyard, add a Phantom Knights card from your deck to your hand. So there are a few really powerful Phantom Knights cards that we want to be able to search out, and that's the main thing that you want to do. He also, if he's in attack position, you can target another dark monster and give it 800 more attack and change the battle position of this guy. That's not really, like, you could get some use out of that, but mainly you kind of just want to get this guy in graveyard. And there are ways that we can send it to the graveyard directly from the deck, and then basically we would banish it out and then grab the Phantom Knight spell or trap card that we want, right? And then the other one, kind of the same thing. We're going to run one copy of Phantom Knights of Silent Boots. This one here is, if you control Phantom Knights monster, you can special summon it from your hand, so you can use it to get an extra body. But the main reason we want it is because, once again, you can banish it from your graveyard and you can get a Phantom Knight spell and trap. So this one specifically searches spell and trap. The other one would search any Phantom Knights card, so you could grab a monster if you wanted to, right? So we run one of each of those to help get our Phantom Knights cards. And then we're going to run 3 Raid Raptor monsters in the main deck. So we're going to run one copy of Singing Lanius. If you control an Xyz monster, you can special it for free. So we basically are looking for more free bodies on board to extend our plays, and we do want some Raid Raptors because some of our Xyz need Raid Raptors as materials to get their more powerful effects. So that's why we're not just running it with like a ton of more Blackwings. We want to have some Raid Raptors in here, and they synergize well with Blackwing anyways. They're all Dark Wing Beasts. They all can be special summoned, so it's what we want to do, right? The other one we have is Raider's Wing. Its name is treated as a Phantom Knights and a Raid Raptor card. So this card is actually searchable with one of the Phantom Knights banishing from our grave. Also counts as a Phantom Knight for summoning the other Phantom Knight from our hand, which is good, but then also counts as Raid Raptor. So when it's a material, we'll get the effect for having it as a Raid Raptor as well, right? If this card is in your hand or graveyard, you can detach a material from any Dark Xyz monster to special summon it, which is really good, and then you banish it when it leaves the field. And then if this guy is a material on an Xyz monster, your opponent can't target that Xyz monster with card effects. So he kind of protects your Xyz monster. So Raider's Wing is very, very good. And then the other one we're going to run is Raid Raptor Strangle Lanius. If you control a dark monster, you can special it from your hand. So once again, just a nice, free, easy special summon. And then he locks you into Dark Xyz monsters, but that's okay because that's basically what we're going to be doing, right? Or he locks you in the dark monsters, so you can go into any type of dark special summoning you want, which doesn't matter because that's all this deck is going to run as dark anyways, right? And then if you control an Xyz monster that has a dark Xyz monster as material, you can target a level 4 lower Raid Raptor monster in your graveyard and special summon it, but negate its effects. So once again, another card to free special summon on board and then extend and get another card on the field. So basically, this deck has so much free special summon spamming that we can just go crazy and get so many synchros, Xyz, and links off. It's pretty wild. Okay, so that should be it for the entire monster lineup. So now let's go ahead and let's take a look at the spell card lineup. So basically, this deck has a very powerful draw engine. So remember, I said we really want to get into Simoon turn 1. So we have a lot of cards that can really help us get into that, or just draw in general. Drawing in Yu-Gi-Oh! Is general. It generally is a very good thing, right? And a very difficult thing to do, which is why Pot of Greed has basically been infinitely banned. It's too powerful. Like, drawing 2 cards in Yu-Gi-Oh is extremely powerful. It's why everybody is spamming Max C right now, because when you can draw a bunch of cards, that is ridiculously powerful. So basically this deck can run 6 Pot of Greeds, its own version of Pot of Greed, right? So basically we're going to run 3 copies of Allure of Darkness. This basically allows you to draw 2 cards and then banish a dark monster from your hand. The banish the dark monster from hand, though, can actually come into a positive because we can combo it with Oster and intentionally put something banished that we want to summon with Oster. So having 3 Allures is not a bad thing, and since we're running a full dark deck, we can get away with it. Then we're going to run 3 copies of Wing Requital. Ring Requital is a newer card that came out, and it's very good. All you have to do is control 2 winged beasts that have different names. You pay 600 and draw 2 cards. Now, the one bad thing about Wing Requital is you can only activate 1 per turn, so you can't go on this loop of like drawing into more and then activating it. But as long as you are able to get 1 off, it doesn't matter if you play the second one. You're going to have a nice, healthy hand anyways. And then each turn, you can keep playing these and keep drawing 2 cards. So Wing Requital is very, very good. Then kind of the MVP spell card is Black Whirlwind. We already talked about this, but for those of you that are unfamiliar with it, we run 3 of these. This is another card that in the past was consistently limited to 1 because it is so powerful. This card alone, I think, is what allows us just to go crazy and insane in this deck. Basically, if you normal summon a Blackwing monster, you can search your deck for a Blackwing monster that has a lower attack than the monster summoned and add it to your hand. The reason why this is crazy is you normal one, you can add 1 to hand. That one can typically be special summoned depending on what you pick. Then you can special and get a free body on board. The reason why this is so powerful with Simoon is because Simoon is a free normal summon that doesn't count as your normal. Then you can normal summon another one from your hand. The other thing is this card is not cloggy. The only time this card gets cloggy is if you don't have Blackwings to summon. And that can happen, right? You draw 3 of these and then no Blackwings. It stinks, right? But as soon as you draw 1, like you're off to the races because these effects stack. So if you have 3 Black Whirlwinds on board, you summon 1 monster, you get 3 searches off of 1 summon. So you can build absolutely insane hand advantage, absolutely insane card advantage by having Black Whirlwind in multiples out on the field at once. So extremely powerful. It's pretty much a must at 3, I would say. Then the other spell card that is a must in the deck, I would say, is Phantom Knight's Rank Up Magic Force. We're running 1 copy of that. Basically, what you do is you can use this to upgrade a Dark Xyz monster you control. And what you do is you banish dark monsters from your deck. And basically, you combine the rank of the monster you want to upgrade, add the number of monsters you're banishing to it, and then you can basically Xyz a monster that equals that rank value. So for example, let's say we have a rank 4 on the field, we play this, and then we banish 3 monsters. That would bring us up to a rank 7. So then we could play a rank 7 on top of that, right? So we'll talk about some of the combos and plays when we talk about the Xyz monsters. But basically what this deck is going to allow you to do is there are ways to search this out, set it to the field directly, and then excuse me, set it to the field directly, and then it allows you to play at the turn that it's set, which is really, really good. Okay, so that's your main rank up card, which is really good to get us into. There's 2 extremely powerful Xyz monsters that we can grab with that. Then there are 2 spells in here that I think are a little bit more open-ended. So if you have different spells that you like more, you can definitely sub them in. So I'm running 1 copy of Harpy's Feather Duster. To me, just getting rid of back row is very helpful. I like to have my plays go undisturbed. And then 1 Called by the Grave. I think Graveyard Disruption, it's a quick play. It's just a very good card in general. But once again, depending on your preferences, you don't have to run either of these. You could play something else if you want to. But that's just personally what I'm running for the spell cards. All right, and then lastly, the trap lineup. We just got 3 trap cards here, and they're all Phantom Knights cards. So we're going to run Phantom Knights of Shade Brigadine. We're going to run 1 copy of this. This card is really busted because it is basically a trap monster that as long as you have no traps in your graveyard, you can actually play at the turn that it's set. So this is searchable with our Phantom Knights cards. And then what you do is you search it. You can set it and play it right away, and it is a free level 4 dark body on play to go into another Xyz summon. So whether you're extending a play you're already doing, you're Xyz summoning a different monster, you can do that. This card combo is really nice with an Xyz monster in our deck called Time Thief Redoer. So we'll talk about that when we get the Time Thief Redoer, but basically this is just a free level 4 body on board to keep doing more Xyz summoning, right? So we've got that. And then we're going to run 2 Phantom Knight Fogblade. This is basically a searchable card in our deck it's essentially a Fiendish Chain. When we play it, we equip it to an opponent's monster. That opponent's monster has its effects negated and cannot attack, and then it cannot be targeted for an attack either. Then it has a graveyard effect, so you can banish it from the graveyard. You can target a Phantom Knights monster in your graveyard and special summon it. So this is great for a couple of reasons. We have monster effect negation, which is very important. Plus, it will allow us to special summon a Phantom Knights from graveyard. Plus, because it's a trap card that banishes itself, it keeps the graveyard clear of traps to make sure that our Brigadine can go off without fail. So you see that we literally only have the 3 traps in the deck. So Brigadine, you're always going to be able to activate that the turn it's set, which is really, really good, right? Okay, so that's it for the main monster and spell and traps. So now we're going to go into the extra deck. So for the extra deck, let's start with the Synchros. So for BlackWings, we're going to run Blackwing Nothung the Starlight. We're going to run 1 copy of this. This is going to be your main 6-star play when you want to go into a 6-star. When it's special summoned, you can inflict 800 damage to your opponent. Then choose 1 face-up monster your opponent controls, and they lose 800 attack and defense. The main reason we run it, though, is its other effect, which is while it's on the field, you get 1 additional normal summon of a Blackwing per turn. This is ridiculously powerful when comboed with several Black Whirlwinds, right? So if you're doing a Simoon play and you get 2 normal summons from Simoon and then something else, then you bring this guy out and get a 3rd normal summon. If you have, say, let's say you had 3 Black Whirlwinds out. I know that's like kind of a crazy situation, but you're getting 9 searches. Like, you're going to get to the point where there won't even be a search option because you've grabbed everything you needed and you have just huge hand advantage. So Nothung is a very good 6-star option. We're running just 1 copy of Blackwing Armor Master. Honestly, I don't ever really go into him. Sometimes I'll go into him to combo with like an Orochi if I want to go into an 8-star afterwards, and I just want him as like a 7-star body in my graveyard to combo with something else. He can be kind of situational. Like, there might be a situation where you're just needing to stall out. Basically, he can't be destroyed by battle. You take no battle damage from attacks involving him, and then if he battles a monster, you put a wedge counter on it, and he can remove wedge counters to make opponent's monsters attack and defense 0. So there could be a situation where there's just something you can't get over for whatever reason. You could bring this guy out. Let's say you have Oster in your graveyard. You could banish Oster, put a wedge counter on the monster, and then use Armor Master to remove the counter and make their attack and defense 0, and then you can attack over it. So that's something you can do with Armor Master. So it is worth running at 1. Then we have Blackwing Tamer Obsidian Hawk Joe. This is going to be another one of. This is definitely our 7-star MVP in the deck, probably. Basically, when it's summoned, you can target a level 5 or higher Wing Beast monster in your graveyard and special summon it. When your opponent activates a card or effect that targets only this card, or when your opponent targets this card for an attack, you can target 1 other Blackwing and change the target to that target instead, which is really good. This guy combos really well. If you have this guy out with a Blackwing Full Armor Master, we'll talk about Full Armor in a second, but Full Armor Master isn't affected by card effects. So if they target this guy with like a lethal spell or trap card, you can redirect it to Full Armor Master, and then Full Armor Master isn't affected. But I love the fact that we can summon a monster from the graveyard that is a level 5 or higher. So a lot of the times you'll just have Simoon in the graveyard and you'll grab him, just have an extra body to go into like a Link play with. But let's say you go into an Armor Master and then you have Orochi out, and then you combo Orochi and Armor Master, go into an 8-star play. Then you can go into this guy as a different 7-star play and then bring the Armor Master back out. So if you have like a really big, beefy, like high level synchro in the graveyard, you can summon it back with this guy. So he's very crazy, very, very good card, right? Then another 7-star option that I use quite a bit, who's very good, is Raikiri the Rain Shower. Basically, Raikiri the Rain Shower, when he is synchro summoned using a Blackwing monster as a material, it's treated as a tuner. So basically this guy becomes a 7-star tuner. So you could combo with like Gladius, which is one of the reasons I put Gladius in the deck, is because Gladius is a 3-star non-tuner. So if you have Gladius and this guy out, you could go into Full Armor Master with that combo if you want to. But the big thing with this guy is you can target cards your opponent controls up to the number of Blackwings you control and destroy them. So if you have a field of like 5 Blackwings, you could just decimate their field and pop like 5 cards. Right? So that's a very, very good effect. And it's not like an on-summon effect. It's a once per turn. So if you bring this guy out, pop a couple cards, you don't kill your opponent. If your opponent gets a turn and they can't deal with this guy, the next turn, you can just start your turn and just pop a bunch of cards. So this guy's really, really good. Very, very good Blackwing, right? And then the last Blackwing in the Synchro deck is Full Armor Master, who I talked about. He is a 10-star. So like I said, a lot of times I'll do that Simoon with Harmatan play to get it. But like I said, you could do like the 7-star synchro with like the 3-star Gladius, that could work as well, as long as you have the tuner. But this guy is unaffected by other cards' effects. Now that does include your own, but you're really not going to target him with your own effects anyways. But that's really ridiculous. And he's 3,000 attack, right? Each time an opponent's monster activates its effect, you put a wedge counter on that monster, right? And then once per turn, you can target your monster or a monster an opponent controls with a wedge counter and take control of it. You can also destroy all monsters with wedge counters during the end phase. So this combos really well because you bring this guy out. If you summon this guy with an Oster and an Harmatan, then Oster is in the grave. So then you could banish Oster, put wedge counters on their monsters, and immediately just take control of it. So if they have something really scary that like is really hard to get over, you can just take control of it and have it on your side of the field. So we're running 2 copies of Full Armor Master for that reason, because there have been times I've been able to go into 2 of this guy, and he is so good. So good. Very, very good. And then the last synchro is a non-Blackwing. We're going to run Beals, and Beals is going to be our 8-star play. Beals is just ridiculously good. He cannot be destroyed by battle or card effects, so he's kind of hard to get over. If you take damage from an attack involving this card or from an opponent's card effect, it gains that attack equal to the damage you took. So basically, he's just a hard card to deal with. He's a big, beefy boy, and he can get stronger. So one of my replays I have, I don't know if I'll put it in the replay section or not on this video, but one of the replays was I actually didn't have a good starting hand, but I was able to get Beals out, and the opponent just scooped. They didn't have a way to deal with Beals, so they just scooped. So sometimes that can happen, right? All right, next, let's go into the Xyz lineup. So for Xyz, we're going to run some powerful rank 4 plays. We're going to run 1 copy of Raid Raptor Force Tricks. Basically, this is your extender where you get to bring out more monsters and keep some plays going. So basically, he gains 500 attack and defense for each Wing Beast monster you control, except itself. Once per turn, you detach material, and you can add a level 4 Dark Wing Beast monster from your deck to your hand. So in this case, you could grab a Blackwing that can be special summoned, or you could grab one of your Raid Raptors that can be special summoned. Basically, you're probably going to grab a 4-star, and then you can special it to the field and then go into plays, right? So that's what you do with Force Tricks, which will help you go into some plays there. Then our other 4-star here is going to be called Raider's Knight. Raider's Knight is treated as a Phantom Knights and Raid Raptor card. Basically, you can detach a material from it and then special summon a Phantom Knight, Raid Raptor, or Xyz Dragon monster that is 1 rank higher. So basically, we just use this guy to upgrade into a rank 5 monster that we have in the deck. Okay, and so the before we go to the rank 5, let me look at the other rank 4 that we have. So this is Time Thief Redoer. So Time Thief Redoer is just 2 level 4 monsters. So this guy's kind of crazy. So once per turn during the standby phase, you attach the top card of your opponent's deck to this card, and then as a quick effect, you can detach up to 3 different types of materials from this card, and then you can apply effects based on the type you detach. So if you detach a monster, you can banish this card till the end phase. That's good for protection if they try to board wipe you or destroy this guy and you want to keep him alive. It's basically like a, what's that trap card, like transmission device something or whatever. Basically, you can banish it so it dodges stuff and then it comes back. For spells, you can draw a card. That's really good, just to draw more cards, right? But the big one is his trap effect. So if he detaches a trap as material, you place 1 face-up card your opponent controls to the top of the deck, which is really good because then you can kind of choose what that card is. 1, you're going to get off the field because it's going to be annoying or something you don't want. But then 2, during the standby, you're going to attach that card to him so you can control what power he has coming forward. The reason why this guy is so busted is because Trap is probably his best effect, but Trap is very hard to get as an Xyz material, right? But if you remember, we have this little guy called Phantom Knight Shade Brigadine in our deck. Remember, he is a 4-star monster. He's a trap monster, and he's treated as a normal monster when he's activated, and he's a 4-star dark monster. So if we Xyz Redoer with this guy as material, he starts off with a trap card attached. So Redoer is actually a really good turn 1 play, because then as soon as it goes to your opponent's standby, you're going to jack a card off the top of their deck. He's going to attach it. And then as soon as they play something face up you don't like, as a quick effect, you can get rid of it. So I really like Time Thief Redoer. I think he's a really good rank 4 option in here. Okay. For rank 5, Rebellion Xyz Dragon is what we're going to run. This is the guy that you're going to upgrade to with the other rank 4 that we had talked about earlier. He cannot be destroyed by card effects. You can detach material from this card, and it gains attack equal to the total original attack of all other monsters on the field. So basically, you can combo everything into him. He is the only monster then that can attack, but you negate the effects of all other face-up monsters on the field. So if your opponent has a monster that's really troublesome, you can basically negate all monster effects, put all the attack into this guy, and attack over if you need to. After this effect resolves, you can't attack with other monsters, and you can only use that effect once per turn. So this guy is just really nice. One is we just like him to upgrade into a rank 5, but you could use that effect and get some really good use out of that, right? But this guy, typically what I'll do is we will start with Raider's Knight, upgrade into Arc Rebellion, and then I may or may not use the effect, but then we'll use our rank up spell card to rank him up into the rank 7 or the rank 10. So that's the next two we're going to talk about. So we have one copy of Raid Raptor Arsenal Falcon. So he's our rank 7 play. Once per turn, you detach material from this card and you can special summon a level 4 Wing Beast monster from your deck. So once again, he continues to extend plays, right? If he has Raid Raptor monsters as a material, it can attack up to that many times during each battle phase. If it is sent to the graveyard while it has a Raid Raptor, you can special summon any Raid Raptor XYZs from your extra deck except himself, regardless of the rank. So using that destruction effect, then you could go into Raid Raptor Ultimate Falcon, who we're playing one of. So you can get Ultimate Falcon either off of doing that, or playing your rank up card, you just banish enough monsters to go right into Ultimate Falcon if you want to. Ultimate Falcon is also unaffected by other cards' effects. So you have this guy and Full Armor Master on the field. You've got two really big, huge monsters that are unaffected by all other card effects. Like your opponent, if they see that on the field, a lot of times they're going to scoop because it's so hard to deal with. They're very hard to get rid of monsters. Not to mention you could have something like Beals still out there, like just a ton of really tough to get rid of monsters that do really good things, right? So with Ultimate Falcon, you can detach material from it, and for the rest of this turn, all monsters your opponent controls lose 1,000 attack, and your opponent cannot activate cards or effects. So literally, you detach from him, and you have free reign to just go and attack and go crazy. They can't activate cards or effects, which is really busted. And then if it has a Raid Raptor as a material, during the end phase, you can make all your opponent's monsters lose 1,000 attack, or if they don't have monsters, they just take 1,000 attack direct damage to their life, which is really, really good. So Ultimate Falcon and Full Armor Master, they're like your two big boss monsters here, right? All right, and then finally wrapping up, we have two Link monsters. So we're going to run one copy of Raid Raptor Ystrix. This is a Link 2. Just two Dark Wing Beasts, so very easy to get into. So this is what you do with like a lot of times when you have your non-level force, like you got a Simoon, you got an Orochi, you got things that you're not going to synchro with and you want to make your Link play, you're going to go into this. When it's Link summoned, you special summon a level 4 Dark Wing Beast from your deck in defense position. Usually what I do with this one is I will grab Zepharos from the deck, because then Zepharos, where we would go into other plays, and then Zepharos would end up in the graveyard from there, and then we can bring Zepharos back out. So I usually go into Zepharos with this, but you could go into whatever you feel is appropriate, right? So you negate its effect and it can't be used as Link material. But since it's a level 4, we're planning to Xyz with it, which is what they want you to do, right? And then if you activate the effect of a Raid Raptor Xyz monster, you can set a rank up magic spell directly from the deck. So what happens is you have this guy out, you basically summon a level 4 in defense mode, and then you have another level 4 on the field. You Xyz those into one of your Raid Raptor Xyz monsters, and then you activate their effect. And then this guy's going to set your rank up, and then you're good to go. You've got your rank up play, and then you get into your big beefy boys. You're either rank 7 or you're rank 10 from there, right? So Ystrix is very, very good. And then finally, we have the last monster in the extra deck, Phantom Knight's Rusty Bardis. And he is a Link 3. So basically what happens is after you use your Ystrix effect, you typically will link off Ystrix and then another monster that you're not using and go into Rusty Bardis. During your main phase, you can send one Phantom Knights monster from your deck to the graveyard. So what you do is you send one of those level 3 Phantom Knights monsters to the graveyard, then you can banish those to search out a Phantom Knights card that you want and use it. So a lot of times you'll bring this guy out, search for the trap monster, then you can summon the trap monster and then Xyz into another monster, maybe Time Thief Redoer, and then you would have that set up, right? Or you go into whatever rank 4 you want to at the time. So this guy is really the key to getting those searches going. Then if you Xyz summon a dark monster to one of the zones he's pointing to, you get to pop a card on the field. So that's very, very good also. So yeah, this guy is very, very good. And that's basically simply the two Link plays that we have. So all in all, this all combos very, very well. So that's basically it for the main profile. So if you stick around, we'll go into some gameplay and show off some of the combos. All right, so we're going to hop into some gameplay here, and we are going to take a look at how the Blackwing deck is doing and some of these replays here. So this first replay I'm going to show you is a pretty standard kind of like Simoon start, just to show you kind of like how insane the plays can go. So we're going to check out this replay here. All right. Or actually, no, this isn't. I think we draw on the Simoon. Hold on, we'll check here. Yeah, so we're gonna lure. Yep, and there's Simoon. Okay, so you can see, even though we didn't start with it, we still got to it, right? All right, so basically what happened was we banished the Phantom Knights card, and then now what we did was we used Simoon, and then we banished out Arkhice. And then now what happened is we get the Whirlwind, and we get the normal summon Simoon for free, and we grab Oster. Okay, Oster we normal summon. We're gonna summon Arkhice with Oster's effect, and we get Whirlwind again. So now with Whirlwind, we are going to grab Harmattan. So you can see we got Harmattan there. Yep. And then that goes off and we get Arkhice. And I got another body on board. We got Wing Requital. So we played that, draw 2. We drew into a Bora. There's a free special summon with our Raid Raptor. Harmattan specials adds the level. We're going to go right into an Armor Master. This is the full Armor Master. So it's like, yep. And he is unaffected, like very easy, right? Very quick and easy. And then we special Bora. And then we got a, we're going to do a Link play here. We're going to go into Wise Tricks. Okay, and so Wise Tricks going to use his effect. We're going to summon Zepharos, and then we're going to link off here. Or Arkhice off, I should say, into Force Tricks. Now remember, we got Zepharos. So with Force Tricks, we're going to detach Zepharos, and we're going to get Bora. And now we can special Bora. Wise Tricks is going to activate. Let us set our rank up spell card, right? And then we special Bora, special Orochi, go into another Arkhice play. You see it gets kind of crazy, kind of quick here. And then we go into a Raider's Knight. Raider's Knight is going to upgrade. Yep. And then he's going to go into the rank 5. Okay, and then we got another summon, and then we're going to, yeah, and then they give up, okay? So I'm going to pause here for a second. So they gave up before we could even, like, continue here, but that, we were linking off in the Rusty Bardis, right? So then Rusty Bardis was going to come out. They were going to put a Phantom Knights card, and search that out. So Rusty Bardis would have put one of our level 3 Phantom Knights into the graveyard. We would have banished that to get the trap card. We could have activated the trap card, and you see we have another level 4 on board. So we could have gone into Time Thief Redoer at that point. And yeah, it just gets wild and crazy. And then we have our rank up card sitting down there, right? So we would have ranked up our rank 5, and we could have gone into the rank 7 or probably the rank 10. But you can see just like big, insane monsters right away, right? So there's the first replay, but that's kind of how a match can go. And I have had several turns where the opponent just, yeah, they'll just scoop on you because they can't deal with what you put out there, right? So once again, if you can go first and you put up a board that they don't like and they can't deal with it, they might scoop. If you're going second, it depends on what they do, but they can do some problematic things here. Okay, so this is going to be a much less traditional look at some things that you can do with the deck, right? So this is going to be a much less traditional run, so I want to put this in. So here we're going up against Spiral, so we'll go pretty quick through their turn. And then when we get to my turn, we'll go a little bit slower here. Okay, so we just normal summon Arkhice, okay? And then we special Gale. Gale's going to lower by half, and then we got Harmattan. So we got just some simple Blackwing plays here. And then what I did was I used Harmattan to add Gale to its level, and then we synchroed into a Beals. So all we have is Arkhice and Beals here. And watch what happens with just Arkhice and Beals. So they're going to try to do some plays here. That's fine. I call by the grave their card so they don't get it off. Once again, Graveyard is huge in the meta, so like Call by the Grave is a good card to run. Okay, now watch what happens here. It goes to their turn. So they start making some plays. They do their pot. They don't really like what they see from it. I mean, they grab a card. But like, so he targeted Beals. Beals stopped. Like, Beals can't be destroyed by card effects. He couldn't deal with Beals, so he just gave up. So Beals is just a super powerful rank 8 or level 8 option that you can go with. And yeah, if they don't know how to deal with it, they might just give up. We'll just do maybe a couple more replays. These next ones, I don't actually remember what they are. I just saved a bunch of Blackwing replays. And just so you guys know, these battles are from gold tier, but these Blackwings can compete in platinum. I just haven't gotten to platinum yet on my account. I know I'm a scrub, right? I'm in gold 1 right now. So we're getting there. So here, we start off with Simoon. So this is a great start. The opponent will speed through their turn. So all they do is set 2, and then I Harpy Feather Duster. Yeah, this one gets pretty crazy. So I'm basically going to wipe their field off with Harpy. And I've got like clean field. So here we go. Simoon, pitch Gladius, normal summon. We're going to grab Oster. Once again, it's the Simoon combo again. Yep, Oster. And then we're going to get Gladius out. Whirlwind will go off. Whirlwind, I think we're going to grab another Orochi here. Yep. So Orochis are, you can only special one per turn, but that's fine. And then, yep, so then Harmattan, and then we're going to do that. And we're going to go full Armor Master again. I do like starting with full Armor Master. He's just like so hard to get around. He's so good. So then we can do an Orochi play. And then we're going to, I think we're doing a 7-star Synchro play here. Yeah. And then we're going into our 7-star, and then what he does is he specials from the grave a 5 or higher, so then we can get that back. And then I could have linked off in the Y-Strix there, but then I didn't really have any good way to extend past that, so I just left them out as bodies. But you can see we almost killed them in one turn there, right? And then we took 1,000 because Black Whirlwind was still on the field. But yeah, and then we'll just speed through, but they're basically done at this point. So we'll let them go through and do their plays here. Yeah, and then we just attack, and then that's game. So, yeah, pretty easy there. We'll do one more replay just so you can get the hang of it. But I've pretty much demoed most of the stuff. Like the one we didn't really get to see the Rusty Bardis stuff. But here, let's pick this one down here. We'll see what this one is. This should be Blackwing though. I think these are all Blackwing replays. We'll do this one and we'll probably call the video there, but I think you guys got like the handle of it, right? I guess we haven't really done a lot of the like Ultimate Falcon and stuff, but some of these replays should have it. So we'll see if we go into that in this one here. So I'm trying to remember what this one is. Okay, so they're just gonna set and pass. So they don't really have much going on there. But we've got a lure, so we're gonna get card advantage. We got Feather Duster, which doesn't really help us, but we'll see what we can allure into here. And of course we got Simoon, so sure. Yeah, that's why the draw cards are so huge, and we've got Wing Requital now. So yeah, now we're gonna Black Whirlwind, go crazy, get Oster. I just like that combo, right? And then Oster, sure, grab Bora out, Black Whirlwind, grab Harmattan. I mean, that's been kind of standard from this point, right? So sure, we'll get Harmattan. Yep, and then Bora's out, and then Wing Requital, draw 2 more cards. Oh, and then they ashed the Wing Requital, so that definitely wasn't the thing they should have ashed. They should have asked, probably ashed the Black Whirlwind, to be honest, but that's okay. So we got Harmattan out, increase levels, bring Chris out, and then yeah, we're doing our thing here, and once again, going to a full Armor Master again. And then we're going to go to a rank 4 play. Okay, so we go into Raiders Knight. Good. So this will show off some of that. And then Raiders Knight's effect, we're going to rank up to a 5. Yep. And then you can see we have Fog Blade down, so we have something to negate a monster's effect if we need to. And then we're going to activate his effect. I just kind of did this for memes and then just attacked into it. But obviously it would have been more efficient there. But here's the thing I wanted to show off. So the reason why I did that was to show you that when you do Rebellion Xyz Dragon's effect, it's permanent. Look at that. That 76 is just sitting there. Oh, that's right. We're playing Kaijus. So he throws Kaijus down on me. But Arc Rebellion is just sitting there as a 7600 beater now. So if you use the effect, it stays. And then what I do in this video is I believe I do it again. We'll speed through their turn here. So then I Fog Blade them, and then that kind of messes up their whole day. Because he was planning to use that to get rid of my other guy. Yep, so we Fog Blade him, and then he gives up. Yeah, and then he's done. So on the next turn, we could have detached again and did another one, right? Let's do one more. We'll do one more. This is kind of fun. This is kind of fun. I like watching these. We'll do another one. But it's been very easy to like get replays to save because this deck has actually been quite consistent. And because it has so much draw power, that really, really helps, right? So we'll go into another one here. So yeah, this one looks really ugly at first, right? So let's see. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, this is the Trap Tricks matchup. So this is a very unconventional matchup. And we both are kind of like bricking. Like they're not really doing much. I'm not really doing much. This is a very slow match. So I get Whirlwind with Harmattan. So all I can get is Orochi. And then we special Orochi. Then we can Wing Requital. So that was the big thing, was just to get into Wing Requital. Now we're double Black Whirlwind. So even though we had a really brick hand, as long as we've got Gladius to summon now on the next turn. So I go into a Y-Strix just because like that's all I can really do here. And then we summon another level 4. So we just have bodies on board. Realistically there, I should have gone into Zepharos. because then Zepharos, I could have like easily put one of those Whirlwinds back in hand. So that was probably a misplay on my part there. But I was just kind of frustrated with like how bad the hand was. But we end up coming ahead on this one against this Trap Tricks decks. So yeah, they're going to attack through my Wise Tricks, but they leave my level 4 on board, which is good because then it gives me something that I can play with next turn, right? All right, we'll skip through. They go into Sarah again. Yep. So I do something that kind of messes them up because I believe they have Bottomless Trap Hole set, and we kind of do some stuff with that later. So yeah, we'll just do a set, but we can summon Gladius. We can get a double Black Whirlwind. Gladius, though, is a low attacker, right? So there still isn't much we can grab. So we can only grab one Orochi, and we don't have any more in the deck, I believe. Yeah, so we only got one on that because the attack wasn't high enough. But we can Requite, and then we get Chris. And they try to Bottomless Chris, but Chris can't be destroyed by Swallow Traps once per turn. So that kind of messed up their day. But I know they needed to play Bottomless just to get Sarah's effect off. But then now we get cooking a little bit here. Now we can get into Force Tricks. Now we can get another play off. So now with Force Tricks, we can detach, add Oster to hand. My plan is to have Oster next turn to be able to summon a Banished monster. Then we rank up. So then we rank up by banishing up to our rank 7 here, I believe. Yep, so then we get some Arsenal Falcon. So you can see with how dead it was, we actually got into some stuff, right? So they negated and destroyed, but like Arsenal Falcon now, because it had materials, this was actually a good replay to show, because now they destroyed the Arsenal Falcon, but watch what's going to happen here. So Arsenal Falcon had material, so here comes Ultimate Falcon. So then we got the big bad Ultimate Falcon, and so now we can just start doing some plays with Ultimate Falcon, and then they're done. So that goes off. So that's got to be frustrating on their part. They try to Bottomless Chris, nothing. They destroy our rank 7, and then they just get an Ultimate Falcon to show for it. So anyways, guys, let me know what you think of the Blackwings. I think they're really fun in 2022. Definitely worth building on Master Duel. There are a lot of URs in the extra deck, but the main deck actually isn't that bad to build. But the URs are really important. So if you're willing to save up and get the resources, they are a very fun deck to play. So anyways, this has been JoeWags. Thanks for watching. We'll catch y'all in the next one.